Interesting headline contrast between the Washington Post and CNN. Washington Post headline is as follows. The U.S. economy added 250,000 jobs in October, semicolon, unemployment stays at 3.7%. CNN headline, the U.S. economy added better than expected 250,000 jobs in October. Don't you think one headline is a lot more positive than the other one? President Trump said that the media are a far bigger threat to the division in this country than he is. And he's right. He is absolutely spot on right. I've told you this many times. In October of 1992, when President George Herbert Walker Bush was running for re-election against Governor of Arkansas, Bill Clinton, Investors Business Daily analyzed the front pages of an assortment of newspapers, and they found out that 90% of the economic news was negative. That was October. November, after the election, Investors Business Daily analyzed the same newspapers. Guess what? Only 14% of the stories on the front pages having to do with business and the economy. Only 14% were negative. Now, what happened between October and November that changed the news coverage from 90% negative to only 14% negative? The answer is the only intervening variable was the election of Bill Clinton. Even the New York Times said the final quarter of George Herbert Walker Bush's term, economy grew almost 3.8%. Yet the majority of Americans, despite the fact that we were in the 16th, 17th, or 18th consecutive month of positive economic growth, positive monthly economic growth, the majority of Americans believed we were in a recession. How can that be? What did my friend Tim Close say, who wrote the book called Left Turn? If the media were truly fair and balanced, if people really got their news from a variety of sources, not from the 90% left-wing primary news sources of CNN, ABC, NBC, Washington Post, New York Times, Chicago Tribune, I can go on and on and on and on and on. The average state would vote the way Texas does, which is normally between 8 and 10 points in favor of a Republican. This is the impact the media has on how people think, how people see the issues, and ultimately how people vote.